Oh. Good afternoon, Dr. Candace.
Hey, good morning. How are you? And good afternoon to you and all my other Philly people. Good afternoon. Yes. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm glad it's Friday, which I don't know why, because my days, my weekends, and weekdays look alike. They actually do. I finally got to a place within my life where my weekends and weekdays look just alike. So I'm blessed for that. But
Mhm.
I'm good. I really am. I had a tough week. Uh,
Okay.
not just I don't know if I made it tough, but I'm going to be transparent. I had a tough week this week
Mhm.
because I neglected to check on myself like I should have, and
Okay.
started on Wednesday. I started to identify that, and I had to say, okay, what is it that you need? Check on you, and then I checked on me.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I had a tough week. And then once I started checking on myself, especially yesterday, I checked on me immensely and I checked on me today. And I'm going to
Hmm.
continue because I am big on checking on yourself. And I neglected to do that because I
Hmm.
became engrossed in other things. So now
Right.
I'm doing better. Yeah. Okay. Are you familiar with that? Where you forget to check on Tyra and things just go,
Girl, that's all the time. I'm all the time doing something, forgetting to
yeah,
check on myself, And I think
yeah,
when that happens, that's when I become overwhelmed,
exactly.
And when I become overwhelmed, that's when it's just like, okay, Tyra, you got to figure it out. You got to sit back
Yeah.
and take a break. And so, like for me, that those feelings happened the end of what was it? It happened the end of July, first week of August, and it was just like I had to up until about last week, and I had to take a step back, and I, had to rely on my faith in God, and I had to start praying because that was going to be the only way I was going to be able to make it through, everything that was going on because I was overwhelmed.
Yeah. I definitely understand. When you get overwhelmed, where do you feel it? Where do your overwhelmness come in? Where do you
When
feel
I,
it?
when I feel overwhelmed, I feel overwhelmed. I feel it mentally. I
Okay.
feel it mentally. Like I don't, physically, I'm not running around, but I feel like, if I'm not running around, but then I feel like I am running around, right? But then I'm like, I'm not really, I'm moving, but not moving, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And then that's when I just be like, okay, Tyra, you got to take a step back. You got to figure this out. You have to start thinking about what's next, But then it was just like once I was able to make sense of things, then everything started coming into play, and I was able to say, okay, now let's start working on me. Let's start doing what I need to do so that I can be, my a better version of myself and be able to do what I need to do to help all these people that I need to be helping.
Exactly. Absolutely. When I'm overwhelmed, I feel it in my body first.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel it physically first and then mentally. And that's why it was a little difficult for me to identify that I was becoming overwhelmed
Hmm.
from last week until this week. Because
Hmm.
by me working out and being physical, I'm like, oh, it's just my body tired. Oh, it's just my muscles from weightlifting or something like that. When no,
Hmm.
I was becoming overwhelmed. I wasn't
Right.
spiraling, but I was going emotionally and physically on a roller coaster,
Hmm.
so I had to check
Hmm.
myself. So I feel better today. I
Right.
really do. Yes. So what is going on with you? So we talked about that. So what's going on with you on a good front? What tell us something good.
I got a lot of stuff. Well, you know what? One of the good things that's going on is I actually passed my comps. And
Yeah.
so, and that's something I, probably wasn't going to bring out too much because I'm just like, but it's like with that, it's just being able to know, like, okay, I finally, got that big hurdle that was behind me, able to, overstep that. And so now to move forward to do what I need to do.
I'm very
within my profession so that I can, be the best version of myself. So,
exactly.
yes,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's going on. And I know you're just so happy. You're just so
I
happy.
am. I'm happy, but I don't know how to be happy about it.
Okay.
And you and I had that discussion because I'm just like, I'm the person that's always waiting for the boom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean? I'm waiting for you to send me an email and snatch that shit back.
Mm-hmm.
you
What?
know, that's what
I
I'm
get
waiting.
it.
I'm waiting for you to say, okay, no, sis, not you, nah, you
Yeah.
know. And so, so far it's been 2 days.
What? I was there for 2 days. I get it. No, I
It's
totally
been 2 days and
understand.
nothing been snatched back yet. So
I
I
know
guess
you
it's
like
all good.
you're waiting. I know. I get it. I get it. But I'm very proud of you, and it's it's something that we all have to learn how to celebrate ourselves. Ain't it easier
Yes.
to celebrate someone else? Isn't it easy
Hmm.
to tell someone else, you got this, you deserve it, you can do it? Why is
Hmm.
it hard for us to tell us ourselves that?
Girl, I have no idea. But that's something that, we as a people have to get back into being able to say it's okay
It
to,
is.
to be great and that it's okay for us to be great and do all the things that we need to do,
Yes,
that is can better ourselves as well as bettering other people. So
absolutely.
but we just gotta learn how to appreciate ourselves more and we have to learn how to give ourselves grace.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you because I used to have that mindset as well where I was waiting for the shoe to drop, the other
Hmm.
shoe to drop, and because
Hmm.
I wasn't expecting. But once we transition and you get your mindset where it should
Hmm.
be on yourself,
Hmm.
I expect it. I expect to be great. I expect whatever I touch is going to be gold or platinum. I
Hmm.
expect that now.
Right.
I really do. I
Hmm.
do now. And so when it doesn't,
Hmm.
I look at it like, okay, what can I do to adjust? I don't look at it as a fail. I'm like, well, I'm
Hmm.
just going to adjust that. It didn't
Right.
work this time, but it will next because now I'm
Right.
expecting big things.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm proud of that. I'm
Mhm.
happy. So what has happened for me that's good? Well, several
Yeah.
things. One, I am finally transitioning to my wellness center, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
Woo!
My clinic. I found the
You got all the good
building that
stuff.
I want. I found the building that I want, and I'm
Mhm.
so happy. I really am. I mean, it is gorgeous. It has everything I need. It has like 5 examination rooms. I have my yoga room. It's amazing. But let me tell y'all, especially you, Dr. T, do you know what the state is making me do? Doesn't matter if I have a doctorate degree. Doesn't matter if I know phlebotomy and know how to do all these things. Do
Mhm.
you know? Thank you, Gops, Gossip, and Heifers. Do you know the state of California don't care if I'm a doctor? I want to do IV therapy. You know how you
Mhm.
go and get the nutrients and they put an IV in you so you can get,
Right.
vitamin B, vitamin D, whatever, just IV therapy. And I also want to take blood there as well. And I'm
Mhm.
also going to have a drug center where I can take your for the drug testing there.
Mhm.
I'm having all that. I'm doing all of that in one. Do you
Mhm.
know they said I must have my phlebotomy for that?
Are you serious?
They said, and I was mad at first, and now I understand. Yeah, I was in my feelings. Yeah, I
Mhm.
was. I was in
Mhm.
my feelings. And I said, but I'm a doctor. They said, in order to do that and
You
open
have to
up
have your
a
picks.
business,
You have
you
to have
gotta have something on the
your
wall
sticks.
that says a phlebotomy certificate.
Okay.
I'm
So
a doctor.
you didn't get that piece there?
When you're a doctor, you just go to medical school, you get everything.
Yeah, but they didn't give you the certificate for phlebotomy.
No, you just take the class, pass the class.
Wow. No, because I know here, one of the med schools here, they go through all of that.
So now I'm doing it, but it's only gonna take me 10 days. But they
Not just
said
in 10 days. That's
10 days.
it.
Yeah. Well, I know how to do it. 10
Right.
days. And then I take the
Okay.
test and I
Mhm.
have to be California state certified phlebotomist.
Wow.
I said, okay. So
Mhm.
then I said, well, It's something else. It's a lot of things that I'm doing,
Hmm.
and I am a doctor,
Right.
and I'm going to help people with nutrition,
Hmm.
especially people that are battling with gut issues, high blood pressure, high cholesterol,
Hmm.
diabetes, especially our people, because
Hmm.
our glucose and our lifestyle is different than others, especially if it's generational and trauma and stuff. It affects
Right.
us
Right.
internally.
Hmm.
And okay, you could do that. And so that's fine. What would that entail? I said, well, I want to help people with nutrition to eat better. Do you
Hmm.
know they said you got to have a nutritionist certificate? Put that on the wall too. So I'm in the middle of doing that as well.
They giving you they like really doing the
Yeah.
ringer.
And
Look,
and
let me go on Groupon and get these certificates and go ahead and just tell you throw them up on the wall. I got you, Candace. Look,
yes, they said I
I
gotta have
got
all
you.
that. So I was in my feelings.
I
I'm
know
so
you
upset. I
was.
was crying and I felt defeated and I felt like I went to school for nothing and then I tried to play the card and I was like, Candace, stop. Ain't nobody doing that because you black. Candace, stop. And then after I got a really nice lady on the phone with
Mhm,
the state of California in
mhm.
Sacramento and they talked to me. That's where the boards are and everything. And
Yes.
it's not
State
about
capital.
being an MD. It's about
Yes.
protecting me. Because if you know this, and Tyra, we all go to the doctor. Whoever listening, Dr. T, you know too. When you go to the doctor to get your shots and get blood taken, the doctor is not doing it.
Right.
They sitting in a medical assistant or a phlebotomist or somebody. They doing it.
It depends, right?
Well, all here in
Because
California, a doctor ain't never stuck me.
okay,
Never.
so here's the thing. Like I said, all the doctors here are trained to do all of it, right? So a lot of the doctors who have their own medical practices do their own
Oh,
if their
yeah,
nurse is
yeah,
not
medical
there.
assistants.
So for example, my GYN has his own private practice. He has a nurse and he has an MA there with him. He does his own labs. Okay. He does his own labs as well as does his own sticks. When it's time for any type of blood drawing, he does them himself. So it's like he don't have time, now that he's getting older, he's like sending stuff to LabCorp. But it was so many mix up happened years ago with some things with labs and stuff that he was like, nope, I'm a scientist. I'll do it myself. And
Absolutely.
so he would do everything himself. But if the nurses wasn't available to do something, the doctors here in Pennsylvania stepped up and they did it.
Yeah, and here in California, it's nurses and MAs, and they do it, and they have about even when you go to
Hmm.
ER here or whatever, the ER
Hmm.
doctor come in and speak with you, do what they need to do,
Hmm.
but then they sending somebody from lab to draw and to do that.
Right,
The
right.
doctor,
Yeah,
they
they do
was
that.
like,
They
I'm
go to
pretty
lab.
sure, yeah, and that's why they told me, I'm pretty sure you're capable, but you got to have something on the wall to
Hmm.
protect you, insurance
Right.
purposes.
Yeah, because if something happened, you don't want that on you. But the
Exactly.
thing is, but with that is being available for the what if. What if somebody don't show up for work?
Yeah,
We gonna wait for 5 days for them to return.
yeah, that's true. So I'm going to get this, and I'm gonna go take
Mhm.
care of it so I can do it.
Yeah,
So
that's the only thing. Yeah, that's the only thing. But I'm glad, I know how disgusted, and stressed out that made you. I know that was, because it's just like every time you take 2 steps forward, feeling
yeah,
like somebody is knocking you back 2 more steps.
I know.
And nobody likes that feeling, and you shouldn't have to feel like that. So I'm sorry you was going through all of that.
Yes. I went through a lot. I said, what the hell I go to school for? I mean, it was a mess, but it's fine. They said, and I get what they saying. They said, because you want to open up your own. If you were
Mhm,
going to work with a doctor or another doctor or in a hospital or things like that,
mhm,
then fine.
mhm,
But you're not. You're opening up your own.
mhm.
So you need a certificate and everything. Just
Right.
your doctor just cover it's the umbrella.
Mhm,
But you need
mhm,
a certificate and everything you trying to do. I said, I don't believe
mhm,
it.
mhm.
So there you go. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm
That,
happy. I'm out my feelings. I'm happy. I looked at it from a rational standpoint because I was looking
mhm.
at it on an emotional standpoint and I
Yes.
almost made an emotional decision on a temporary mindset.
Mhm, mhm,
Almost like I ain't doing nothing. I forget it.
mhm.
So I
Yeah.
feel better now. So I'm glad
Yeah, because you took a step back.
yes,
You took a deep breath.
I did.
You process the situation,
I did.
you develop the solution,
Yes,
implementing the solution,
that's right.
and doing what you got to do to complete.
That's right. So I'm happy about that. That's exactly what I did. So I am
So
so happy.
hopefully all y'all got those tips I just told. I just
Right.
said, because I just listed out a whole bunch of tips, right? I gave y'all some tips for anxiety and tips for anger. I just slid that on in.
She sure did. And that's why everybody should tune in next week because that's what it's about. Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm up. It's up to you, T. You ready? What we got, Doctor, for with Dr. Tyra? The T with Dr. Tyra.
All right, y'all. So this week on the T, we have so many things going on. Oh my goodness. So the first T we going to talk about is I was laughing about a question that was asked on the Big Ticket Show on the Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda. Y'all know I love that little segment that they have. So this week's question was, I'm getting married next month, and I do not want to take my husband's last name, but he's so proud of it. Now he proud of it, girl. His last name is Roach, y'all. Like, I just don't want to be Mrs. Roach. I really don't even want to hyphenate it either. So, what do you think this young lady should do? I mean, that is one heck of a last name, and
That
you
is.
gotta pick and choose your battles when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you love them, your love should be more than the last name.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you with that. So, my emotional part of me is saying, girl, try to, maybe persuade him. Don't take it. Stick to your guns and don't take it because I know me, I wouldn't want that last name as well. However, the rational part of me, I totally agree with you. Being married and love and all that, it weighs more than the last name.
Mhm.
So, after I think about that, go ahead and take the last name. If it was me, I will go ahead and take it, but I wouldn't. How often do we use our last names? I mean, how often do you really use it? I mean,
Right.
unless you're a school teacher and the kid said, "Hey, Mrs. Roach," I mean, how often do you really use the last
Your
name?
last name. Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, think about that. How often do you use it? I mean, what type of job? It depends on what type of job she has. But then they
Right.
can call her Mrs. Candace, Mrs. Tyra, or whatever. How
Hmm.
often do a person use their last name? So
Right.
you got, like you said in the beginning, pick and choose your battles. If you ain't
Right.
at the DMV all the time, she shouldn't be there 30 days. With you in court all day? With you in court every month? How often do you really use your last name? So go ahead. If you love this man and everything is good and everything working out, take this man's last name and then keep it on the low and be like, you don't have to say my last name. And they're like,
Uh-uh.
Mrs. Roach, especially if she is, you know how you be sitting in urgent care and they got to call you at emergency. How often are you there?
Right. Right. Exactly.
So that's how I look at it. I'll just be like, let me go take this man's name.
But
I'm going to
for
try
me, I
my
would probably say I would hyphenate it though.
Yeah, I will
You
hyphen
know
it.
what I mean? Hyphenate it.
Just
Because my thing is, when you look at your age, like when it comes to age and getting married, anybody there used to be anybody over 35 would hyphenate because nobody knows you as this new person.
yes, yes.
And so, and especially if you're over 40, I'm definitely saying you better hyphenate your name because you went around 40 years with your maiden name. Now
Yeah,
all of a sudden you want to be Mrs. Whoever, and now everybody like, well, who's that?
I
Now,
know, right?
granted, we do have people out there that want to get a new identity.
Yes, because I didn't hyphenate. I just took it. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
and I liked it. It's a nice last name too, and I didn't
yeah,
hyphenate,
hmm
and yeah. So I
yeah,
definitely did that.
yeah. I mean, but I understand that, but then you got people that My thing is, changing your last name is not going to change who you are. Because some people
Absolutely,
act like they going to change.
girl.
They
Don't they be
going
acting like they get a new social security number with that? You do know your social security number stays the same.
birthday stays the same. Your nothing.
Exactly.
You don't get anything new. So so
I
at the end of
know.
the day, you're gonna be who you are
You're going
regardless.
to be who you are. And I
You
think
know?
with her, it's the name itself. It's Roach.
Yeah,
But like
yeah,
you and I talked about it, she could make it French and it be Roche.
exactly.
So when she at the clinic and they like, Mrs. Roach, we will see you now. That's Roche.
Miss Roche, what are
Yeah,
you doing?
Yeah, that's all she got to do. So that's what I would do. So go take this man's name and go hyphenate it. And then when people
Mhm.
call you, like I said, how often how often, like Dr.
Right.
Tyra, for instance,
Do you
how
use it?
often is your last name heard that you hear it on a daily basis? I haven't heard
It's
mine.
not. It's the right because even when I talk to my clients, they all call me. I have one that might use my last name, Miss Gardner, and I'm like, we've been working together now for 2 years. You can call me Tyra. Okay,
Yeah.
Tyra. But for the most part, you know, I don't.
Yeah, I
I
don't either.
don't.
I don't
You
either.
know.
I don't use it at all. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, how often are we really using these last names?
Yeah.
So I think she should hyphenate and just
Right.
go and put some French on it. Roche, if that is
Mm-hmm.
French. I don't know. I think it is, right?
It's French. It's French.
Yeah, there you go. So I think that's a great idea for her. So hopefully she watched this video and we give her some encouragement to just
Yeah.
hyphenate it, because I don't want her to taint and put some type of, you know, some stain on the
Mm-hmm.
marriage. You don't want to come in
Right.
the marriage
Right.
with that. Well, he can throw up. You wouldn't even take my last name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No name.
You don't
Yeah.
want that. You don't want that drama. You don't want that heat. So you gotta
Yeah.
let that go.
You was
Now the
right.
next,
Pick your battles.
yeah,
And that's
pick
a
and
battle.
choose your
That's
battle.
not even a battle. She can go and do that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the next T, oh my goodness, girl, the whole situation with what was it, Irv Gotti and Ashanti,
Girl.
was that not a whole mess? So for those that don't know, Irv Gotti was on Drink Champs with Noriega,
Hmm.
and they were talking about, I guess, his career, in music and everything, Irv or whatever. And I love the show Drink Champs. It's an awesome show. I don't know if you have ever had a chance to watch it, Dr. Candace, but I will say that's definitely one. For the books, they've been getting some really awesome guests on there. And they talk about all aspects of their lives. Well, during this particular episode of Drink Champs, Irv Gotti decided to talk about having an intimate relationship with Ashanti, even to allude that one of her songs was about a sexcapade that they had. And it blew people's mind to the point where you have people from Fat Joe, who has done songs with this young lady, from her from him all the way to Judge Mathis commenting on this, right? And Fat Joe, when I watched his show the other day, he was he was disturbed by it. He was very disturbed by it, and he did not appreciate. He found fault in what he did to this young woman. Putting her business that him and her had out on the street. But and Judge Mathis said that what I read that he said was she need to get a lawsuit for defamation of character.
Absolutely. Cease and desist or something so he can shut up.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He said defamation of character and a cease and desist. So, because the thing is, it's just like when you look at that, I mean, you and I was talking about all of the other incidents that was happening, right? With women this week, with the woman at the airport fighting the man that worked at the airport, and the man trying to beat her up, trying to fight her back because she hit him first. And then the woman and the police officer at the basically the trespassing situation, right? Um, and it's just like, we were talking about protect our woman, protecting the black woman, right? And then I'm looking at that whole Irv and Ashanti situation. Irv was married. He had a whole wife at home.
With
But
kids,
you
the
wait,
audacity.
and the first thing that went through my mind, Dr. Candace, is what is going through his wife's mind right now?
Hmm. That's so hurtful. Very, very hurtful. My spin and my take on
Mm-hmm.
that is when I briefly watched it, um, but I did listen to some things that he said. And
Mm-hmm.
my take on that is poor mental health. Poor mental health, no boundaries, totally disrespect, hurt, feeling still hurt. Why is a grown man, which I'm pretty sure he's over 40, he's 40 something,
He needs to be. He look it.
and why is a grown man speaking about something that happened over 20 years ago with relations he had with a woman at the time he was married. Why? And why even speak on it? Like, dude, what are you doing now in your life? That's the past. He need a lot of personal development because you're hunted by the past. You still speaking about the past. Things that happened 20 years ago. What you got going on now? What new music you got going on now? What production you got going on now? Talk about that. Why are you bringing that up? This woman ain't with you. She didn't had a whole relationship with Nelly and then some. She ain't with you. She ain't even with Nelly no more. Like, why are you bringing that up?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and that's what's, and and it's just like, my thing is, and all of this, believe it or not, y'all, falls into our topic, or mental health and business,
Yes.
right? They were in a business relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know the music industry can be very, very, how can I put it, extra,
Mm-hmm.
right? And people have done things to get ahead, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak, which I don't think this was a situation at all, because I think she was already doing what she was doing on her own merits, right? But it's just the whole situation that, you know first of all, I have an issue, and it's like, and it was so funny because told somebody, I said, first of all, when you look at him, he looked like the type that kiss and tell.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He looks like that type. You know what I mean? And everybody was,
Mm-hmm.
what's that type? Look at him. I'm like, some people, if you seen them on a regular, and if they was a regular dude on the block, that you would not have any type of dealings with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? All because they might be into things that you're not into. Like, they might be into what is it, computers, and you're not, because he just strikes me as a computer guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he was,
Exactly.
on the regular, you know what I mean? But it's just like, but when you think about that, is like the whole mental health aspect. You're pining over someone who doesn't want you,
Mm-hmm.
didn't want you then, right? And the question is, why would you marry a woman when you was in love with another one?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. He has a lot of unfinished business that he needs to do with himself because that's just horrible. This girl that moved on
Yeah.
with her life and doing her thing, and that's
Hmm.
that's hurtful. And also, like you said, what about the wife? Even though they're not together, I think they've been divorced for some years now.
Right. But all of that, you know what I mean? Like, she's been out of the picture for however long she has been, right? If she's not,
True.
because she could still be, right?
True.
But it's like, how does she look right now?
Yeah, that
You
would hurt.
went on a nationally syndicated podcast show
Yeah,
and talked all this.
yeah, that would hurt me terribly.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
hurtful to anyone,
hmm
whether we're not together or not. It's the point. It's the principle that when we were together, you wasn't with me. You was not emotionally invested
and
or
right.
physically invested with me.
Hmm.
And I'm the mother of your kids, and you go on here and you speak about a chick that was supposed to be on your team, supposed to be with
Right.
and
Right.
this is what we doing. She's supposed to be with the label. It was a business
She's
relationship.
right. Right. A business relationship that you turn into a personal relationship.
Yeah,
Now, if
that's
it was a situation, if you was hitting it and quitting it, then that's okay.
yeah.
But you hit it and fell.
Yes. And it says a lot about his character and about what we're talking about today, business and mental health. By
Hmm.
him going on there saying that, you as a businesswoman and as a doctor as well, Dr. Tyra, what business would you want to do with someone like that? He has
None.
tainted a lot of business or future business relationships, because now we
And
know how you move.
you know what? And it's so funny that you mentioned that, right? Because when I was reading some of the comments and some of the threads that people, because there was a lot of people was posting it, right? A few rappers that sample music. One of them was like, "OMG, thanks for the heads up, not sampling."
There you go.
You know what I mean? And so, as a businesswoman myself, you know, from what I saw, I don't care what position you could put me in. I'm not going to do business with you because that's messy.
Very.
That's very messy. And the thing is a way to handle things, and is a way not to handle things. And the idea that, you know, what strikes me as to do business with this individual, and that goes for anybody, I would suggest going in with an NDA,
Exactly.
because at the end of the day, you already know he's going to talk. Whether
Hmm.
it's 5 years later, 10 years later, what we see now is what, 20 years later,
Exactly.
you go and talk.
Yes.
So I
Exactly.
have to protect mine. I got to
Yes.
protect my reputation. I have to protect my brand.
Hmm.
So with doing all this protecting of myself and everything I got going on, NDA it up if you
You
want to
think
do
he
that.
tainted his brand by going on there?
You know what? I'm gonna say I don't think he tainted his brand, because people still want to work with him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? People still want to work with him, because you got to look at it like this. A lot of people still, he still has a lot of people still have respect for him, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, he bagged that, he bagged that. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole bragging thing, which is not.
Yeah.
You
It's
know what
not,
I mean?
especially at this
But
stage and age in the game. It's like
right,
dude, you over 40.
right.
That was what he did to me, and I'm saying this on the Mental Health Minute, Dr. Candace.
Mhm.
What he did, especially at his age and at the stage that he is now, that was a 20-year-old move.
Say it again.
Seriously, that wasn't no grown man ass move. That was a clown ass move. And when, ladies, I want y'all to hear me. When you bring clowns into your life, you get
Mm,
a effing circus.
mm. There you go.
Yeah, I
And it was, and
say
that was the emoji. Look, and that was the emoji all throughout the thread. Clown, clown, clown.
when you deal with clowns, honey, they take you to the circus. You like, okay, my life about to be a circus because it's a clown that entered it. Yeah.
Hmm.
And she did, and I like the class that she doing. I wouldn't give that no
She ain't say
energy.
nothing.
I wouldn't
Nope.
even respond
She ain't give it
because
no energy. No
he's
energy.
responding for the both of them.
Hmm.
Do her, and there
Hmm.
you go. Because 20 years ago, she wasn't in the mindset she's in now. She was
Right.
younger. She was a
Right.
child. Because she's
Right.
like 41 now, so she was like
Yeah.
what 20?
20. Yeah. You know.
When I was 20, I probably would have laid with you too. I'm a child. But as a grown woman, boy, I don't want you. Like, I'm a grown woman. I don't even know you. I wouldn't even give him no energy. Because there was a whole bunch of dudes that I knew back in the day. Now I would walk past them and they'd be Candace. Who? I don't even know you.
That ain't my. That's not my name.
That
Look,
ain't even my name.
I look. I pulled that. I pulled that a couple times. Oh no, that's not my name. Look,
I know, right?
Tyra. No, no, no. My name isn't
Yeah.
Tyra.
Like, dude, you don't even know me.
You,
Yeah.
I don't know you. Yes, your name is. But it was funny because me and two of my girlfriends, all three of us did it at the same time. The
Yeah.
person was like, "I know you. You're so and so and so." We was like, "No, we not."
I know, right? I love it.
We pulled that one on
I
somebody.
love
They was looking like,
it.
"I know their names." No, you don't. We don't know.
You're like, no,
Don't
we
know you. Don't know
don't.
you.
I love
Don't know
it.
you.
There you go. I know, right? And that's what she doing. Ain't Ashanti doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? And it was really interesting that, that I thought was really good also. Friday night, I guess it was Friday. You know who brought her and Ja Rule on the stage to perform, right?
Nelly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he got his reply.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you could go on that show, talk your talk, but guess what? I'm still on top.
Yeah, they making money doing their shows, and
Mm-hmm.
I like how Ja Rule said that I do care for both of them. I don't want to be dragged in the middle, but I don't condone, or he don't condone the behavior of
Mm-hmm.
Irv Gotti and bringing things up. He said he don't condone that, but he loved them both and don't want to be in the middle. And he signed in Switzerland. I know that's right. I'm in the
I understand.
middle.
Yeah.
He likes Switzerland. I ain't got nothing to do with that, but I don't like it. But that's
Yep.
y'all.
That's y'all.
Exactly.
Leave me out of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because it just speaks hurt. It speaks
It
volumes of his
does.
character. Dude, you
Mm-hmm.
40. That was a 17 or 20-year-old move. It's like, what we doing?
Mm-hmm. What we doing?
Like, who does that as an adult male with children, or probably adult kids? Because I don't know how old the kids are, but I'm just saying, who does?
Adult. They
Who?
should they should be close to. They should be in their late teens, early 20s themselves,
Yeah,
late
like who
teens.
operates like that?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Somebody who's hurt, but we know hurt people hurt people.
don't they?
Hurt people hurt
Oh yeah,
people.
he even said it. He's still in his feelings about that.
Hurt people hurt people. You
Wow.
know.
Yeah. That
Yep.
that was pretty deep. That was pretty deep. But we had to bring that one up, ladies and
We
gentlemen.
did. Yeah, we did. We did. We
Yeah,
did. And so
absolutely.
Yeah, so we're gonna try this video before we go into our main segment.
Yes, mental
All
business.
yes, mental health and business. All right.
So,
So
oh, go ahead, Dr. Tyra. Go
no,
ahead.
go ahead, Dr. Candace. I know you
I
got
was
it.
just
Go
going to
ahead.
say, welcome everybody to the Mental Health Minute. I am Dr. Candace Elaine, and that is Dr. Tyra, and we are on here. Uh, we are going to discuss today, on this Friday, mental health and business. Myself and Dr. Tyra are both business owners as well, and we have worked for many people. So we know the ins and out of being an employee to an employer. So we understand that. And from entrepreneurship to soulpreneurship, however, when your mental health is not where it needs to be, or if it is where it needs to be, business can taint it. It's going to touch with business. It all go hand to hand. I always say that it's going to touch it in some way. You're going to be affected by it. So today we are going to get started on mental health and business, what it look like, what it is, and what it ain't. So I have a couple questions. Y'all always know I come with these questions that Dr. T answer, and I answer these questions as well. And my
Hmm.
first one, Dr. Tyler, is
Yeah.
what are some of the ways you see mental health starts to decline regarding business with
Okay.
the people you work with, whether it be solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, or people that work for other people, employees?
Well, number one, I see the mental health starting to decline when they are focused on what other people are doing within their businesses, right? The thing is, they feel like they're in competition with everyone, not in competition with themselves, but in competition with everyone, right? And so when they feel that they're in competition with everyone, and they trying to level up and trying to do everything that everybody else is doing, this affects their mental health, right? Number two, when a situation happens and your finances start to decline, right? You start looking at when you start looking at your expenses, and your expenses is outweighing what is coming in your income. When the expense outweighs the income, then we have a problem, right? That causes depression, it causes stress, it causes anxiety, severe anxiety, right? And so that that alters mental health in business, right? Other situations that happen with business owners is when they realize they may have partnered with the wrong individuals, right? And they might have did a joint venture or something, and all of a sudden things just got chaotic, right? Because everybody's not seeing the same vision. That can cause depression, anxiety, anger. Other areas is right now the staffing shortage, right? I have a number of people that I work with, childcare providers, right? They are experiencing the worst situation that we've ever seen happen in regards to being able to find workers, right? But one of the situations that comes with that is how much you're trying to pay these workers too. So that's a whole nother topic within itself, right? So not having adequate employees, right? But then we have the companies who do have employees, right? Who have severe absenteeism. That's a problem. And with that, that's causing a lot of emotional problems, right? When we look at, a lot of the situations recently that's been occurring with a lot of the corporations, is like a lot of people are they've had time off, right? A lot of people spent a lot of time off during the pandemic, right? So now when it's time to resurface back to work, a lot of people got to discover what their life would be like if they didn't go to work. And so now people are creating new things to do so that they be able to make money. But the problem comes up is when they think they got the next best idea and nobody buys it. So that causes depression, anxiety, anger. So for the most part, they are the top like 4 or 5 areas that I see that is causing business owners a lot of anxiety and depression that is actually impairing their mental health right now.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. And great minds think alike. Because as soon as you started off, I had wrote last night
Mm-hmm.
exactly what you said. Trying to fit in and copying others.
Mm-hmm.
Copying others would definitely
Mm-hmm.
taint your mental
Mhm.
health. Your mental health will start
Mhm.
to decline because, see, we are all different. And we are all different as individuals, but we have
Mhm.
similarities when it comes to business. We have to learn how to separate the two. Like, for instance, I am a therapist. Dr. Tyra is a therapist. We do the same thing, but we do it different.
Mhm.
We do a lot of things different. She has her way, I have my way. Plus,
Mhm.
and she help people with anger and business and stuff. I don't do none of that. So
Mhm.
it's totally different. And when
Mhm.
people try to fit in and
Mhm.
copy, it gets it gets confusing and it starts to
Mhm.
taint your mental health.
Right.
Copying is I'm on the fence with copying because copying is one thing, but then it's because I think it's okay, but
To
copying is
replicate.
your own thing on it. Because you can take what someone else is doing and say, but I'm gonna put my own on it. But I like that. I
Mhm.
like that. So they need to copyright. How that sound? How about we copy
Ooh.
right? Not copy
Exactly.
wrong. People copy wrong when you're actually trying to just I'm gonna be exactly like that. I'm gonna emulate
Right.
that. I'm gonna be exact.
Mhm.
No, you can't be exactly like that. You take from what they're doing, become an inspiration. So I think for all the business owners and the people that's watching this, don't look at it as copy, say their inspiration. I like what they're doing. It's working. So I'm going to try that, but I'm going to try it with my spin, with my personality, with my ability, with my skill set, because I have done those things, but I put
Mhm.
Candace on it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's how they should do it. So I totally agree with you with that. Do you? So my next question is: being an entrepreneur, being
Mhm.
an entrepreneur or soulpreneur, do you see a lot of mental health decrease with entrepreneurs or employees? Which it hit worse and most?
I think it hits the entrepreneurs most, right? And the reason because they have the largest amount of the responsibilities. You know what I mean? Because they got to focus on not only the business, making sure everything in the business is taken care of. They have staff, they got to make sure that they're taken care of, right? And on top of the business, the staff, then I have to make sure that my family is taken care of, and so when you think about the business owner, yeah, they have a big umbrella that they have to fulfill, because they got to make sure all the lights is on within the business, because the thing is everybody thinks a business is just, they don't think about all of the day-to-day expenses, the lights, the gas, the water, the this, the phone, the Wi-Fi, the computers, it's more to it than just what you see, right? Now on the employees, and the employees get it too. The employees do, have issues as well, right? Because the thing is, when it comes to being an employee for a company, one of the things that happens is they get upset because they're not making the adequate amount of money. With, like, we look at everything that's happening today with the cost of groceries increasing, right? People can't afford really to buy. Like, you go to grocery store, you come back with one bag and five items, and that one bag and five items is about $40. And nobody thought they would see, things like this happen, and it's like when you look at what was like last year, people was getting a plethora of money, money and food stamps and things like that. Nobody's getting that anymore, and so it's just like now it's like when you think on the employee, yeah, y'all want raises, y'all wanna make that money, y'all want what y'all want. But on the business end, the business owners end, some business owners, it is difficult for them to be able to do that because if they're not getting the revenue in, that's causing a problem.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. That is so true. So, Dr. Tyra says more entrepreneur. I agree with her. On the employee
Mhm,
side,
mhm.
do you think their mental health is also tainted because the people they work with and the people they work for? And also all the things you named, such as household and taking care
Mhm.
of their own family.
You know what? I think so. I think so because sometimes, when you're an employee at a company, right, and you see people done wrong by management, right,
Yes.
that impairs you because at this
Mhm.
point it might not be affecting you directly. However, you know that at one day it may come your way. And it's like,
Absolutely.
okay, so how is it going to affect me? Now, granted, we do have coworkers that will taint our mind with a number of information that we need to not know, right? That will cause us a lot of grief, a lot of harm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But but it's up to us to ingest that. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And that's why we have to watch what we feed our mind. We got to watch the energy that we take in from others because people will do things that can impair your mental health in the workplace. You know,
Exactly.
like I mean, it's like it brings me to this story. One time I was working at this hospital, and I just remember this young lady. She was a whole she was something. She was a piece of work, right? She had a very how can I put it? Her sense of humor was inappropriate, right? And it was like we had a manager that really did not like her. And I just remember she got upset and I found it quite amusing. But they were in a meeting and it was a meeting with another department and the manager, she was fine the whole day. Like I had a pretty good relationship with that manager. She was fine all day. She was happy. Hey Tyra, how are you? Da, 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 da. Very nice, right? That afternoon, and a couple of us seen her, they was like, "Yo, what's wrong with her?" And I was just like, "I don't know why what happened. I don't know." So then maybe about an hour later, this woman comes. Well, the next morning, this woman went to her office, talked to her, and then the next morning we saw the girl. So she says, we said, what happened? We was like, oh, she's like, let me tell y'all what happened. We like, what? She was like, how's she gonna say to me, I was having a good day until you arrived? That's what the manager said to the staff. She said, when you came in and you entered that room, she said, it's you. She said, I was thinking to myself, what happened to me? I had such a good day until you entered the room. You entered the room and my whole day got bad.
Wow.
And I just said, wow. And I bust out laughing, honestly. I'm going to keep it 100. I laughed. I found it quite amusing because I was just like, yo. And so, and so my coworker was like, oh, so you an energy vampire. And so
Wow. Yes.
And
Yes.
so and so it was like so every time we seen the girl, we was like, "Oh God, here she comes! She coming to zap us!"
Wow. It was that bad.
But she ain't zap us. We ignored her, you know.
Well,
But
yeah.
it was just like But with people who don't allow other people's negativity to come and put a frown on their day, it
Exactly.
will impact them, not the people that don't care. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? Like we totally didn't care, so
Yeah.
it didn't bother us, but it bothered her.
Yes. And
You
she.
know what I mean? And this is a person that's big. She was a person that was big on energy, big on crystals, big on all that stuff. You know what I mean? And so so it just it bothered her. But it was so funny because that person when she didn't leave, she ended up resigning and got a new job. Went to the new job, right? And was displaying the same behaviors that she did on our job, right? Got over there and they tried to write her up.
Oh, they wasn't taking it over there.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh. And so she said, I guess, and so she sent the email to our boss, who, had a crazy sense of humor. And the boss was like, yo, she about to get fired from her job. And everybody's like,
Oh
wait,
wow.
wait,
See,
what? And
so it
so
was her. She just take it everywhere she go.
yeah, and it was just like so funny, and like she came in the room and it was only like maybe three or four of us that she trusted in the room. And she was like, yo, I gotta share this email with y'all. And so she read it, and we was like, "Are you serious?" She said, "So she about to get fired because she thought what she was doing here would be accepted all over the place.
No, it will not.
It's not accepted.
It's not. It's not.
It's
Not
not
in business.
accepted."
And the people, especially nowadays, it's definitely not. People are protecting their mental health and their business.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And we have to do it.
That's
I
right.
mean, and it's just like in business relationships. And the business relationships we form, you have to protect it.
Yes. That goes into my next question. Absolutely.
Hmm.
My next one is, Dr. Tyra, and to the audience as well, I would love to hear from y'all. What
Hmm.
do you see a lot of people mixing business and personal, and is it a good idea?
You know what? I do see some people now mixing business with personal. Now, in our business, myself and Dr. Candace and a number of other professionals that's in the mental health and healthcare realm, right? we can't mix business with pleasure. With professional with personal. We can't because it's. I mean, I don't know about you, Dr. Candace, but I have a lot of clients that be like, "Oh, girl, if I wish we could hang out," and I'm like, "Oh no,"
Hmm.
but
Yeah,
we can't. We can't hang out because you are my client. So in our profession, we know we signed, we took Hippocratic oaths, we did all that. So we know what our levels of in regards to the relationships that we can have with people, right? And we know that we cannot interact with them. Now, when we look at other people, right, who have relationships with business owners, I don't recommend it, especially if it's a boss. You know what I mean? People will do what they want to do, but at the end of the day, it can impact your mental health as well as your professional health, right? And what
absolutely.
I mean by professional health is you have a whole area of healthcare that goes with your professionalism, right?
Hmm.
The way you act in the workplace, right?
Hmm.
You have certain behaviors that you have certain emotions. you
Hmm.
know when you mix business with pleasure with a coworker or with your boss, now if it's with your boss, it can go a whole nother way, right? And now, eating and sleeping in the same place don't all the time work out.
Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree with you. Now, Dr. Tyra is absolutely right. In our profession, especially due to HIPAA and due to our ethics and different things within our
Hmm.
profession, we have to keep it professional. However, mixing business and personal, I don't like it at all. I don't like the fraternizing. Take myself for instance, opening up my clinic and have people work for me. They are my employees, that they are my employees. Yes, we will have a good business relationship, but
Hmm.
they come to my house. We will have a good business relationship where
Hmm.
it won't be on 10. It will be a little relaxed as well because I am a great, fun, amazing leader. However, and y'all notice, I'm gonna put this spin on it. Y'all notice I used the word leader. I did not use the word boss. You know why? Bosses has a title. Leader has people. I want people. I want people on my team. I want people to respect me. I want to help people. I want to be there for people. I want people to have my back. So I'm a leader. I'm not a boss. Boss is a title. Leaders have people. So I will have, the people that work for me, we will have a good working relationship, but I won't fraternize to where we partying together. No, we will have business mixers, business things. We have a business lunch and we're gonna have a good time. But I totally agree with you. It's when you mix it, it won't end. If anything can happen, you always have to, I'm not saying wait for the shoe to drop, but you always have to think about business. You have to learn how to separate the two. So my two-parter to that question, Dr. T, is when people have business, they are running a business, and
Hmm.
let's say social media, for instance, because we
Hmm.
all have social media within our business. Most of us. I know I
Hmm.
do. I'm consistent
Hmm.
and you are consistent and we have business on there. Do you take your personal to your social media business family?
No. Mm-mm.
And why not?
No.
Because I don't
No.
need to tell me what's the do's and don'ts with that. Tell us.
Okay, so the reason I would not take my personal business to my social media family, because at the end of the day, everybody's not for you, right? That's number one. Number two, everybody, what they see from you is what you display on social media, right? That's not necessarily all of the things that you may do. Now, I'm authentic. What you see is what you get in regards to my behavior and my mannerisms, right? I'm not going to, but at the end of the day, when it comes to my personal life, right? If I didn't show it to you from the beginning, that everything is on a need to know basis, right? So I'm not going to show it to you. However, some people find it to be therapeutic, right? To put a lot of their personal businesses on social media, right? Because I know somebody in particular, as we're having this discussion, That was the, first thing that was said to me. Well, I utilize social media because I find it healthy for me because I see my growth and I feel like it has helped my mental health. Now, with this particular individual, would I say it helped their mental health? I would say to a degree, right? To a degree, I will say, I'm gonna give it 75%. I'm gonna give it 70 to 75% where it helped this individual's mental health, right? Because number one, they they post what they want to post, right? They do not respond to all the DMs that they get, right? And when I say DMs, I mean this individual gets at least 100 DMs a day, right? Delete, 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 and block, right? When it regards to DMs, right? Um, just very, very selective. Don't take to heart what is not directed to them. When you direct it to them by name, then I come for you, right? But for the most part, everything else is on the clean and narrow, right? But when I look at other people who are on social media with, when they go on here and they just air out all of their business, you know, um, I think with that, I think, you know, people need to find someone to talk to, right? And sometimes people do it to be malicious, right? And to ruin people's reputations, ruin their name, and just make people feel bad about themselves, right?
Absolutely.
And they do it as a form of bullying, which is not good. People
Hmm.
don't need you to bully them,
Absolutely.
and social media bullying is something that is it gets is ridiculous. The level of what we have seen happen, you know.
As a
Mhm.
business owner, Dr. Tyra, do you think as a business owner and on social media that when you are having a dispute or you mad at someone, do you think it should be displayed on social media? If the okay, for instance, what I'm saying, if I'm a business owner and an
Mhm.
argument or a confrontation or a disagreement started with someone else on social media, as a business owner, should I entertain that? Or should I entertain that off camera, off social media?
Okay, so I'm
Which,
gonna come to
which
you
your
as
opinion?
I'm gonna respond to that as an anger management specialist, right? First thing I'm gonna say is ignore,
Okay.
right? I'm gonna say you need to address that off the camera, right? But social media is a whole nother stick, right? Because people want to meet people where they at, right? And they want to, if you display this behavior to me on social media, I'm gonna give it back to you on social media. But the number one question we need to, the number one statement we need to know is, do you know you are a business? Okay, because see, here's that part, right? Because a lot of people on social media don't know they are a business. You are a business and you are a brand. So you need to know exactly who you are and what you are, right? Especially if you're working towards trying to make money doing what you need to do. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And it's just
Absolutely.
like, I mean, because the thing is, I see a lot of crash and burn. I see a lot of recklessness going on. And will it and can it impair whether others will continue to do business with you or do business with you in the near future? It can.
That was my next question. Yes, you're absolutely right. Oh my God, you're absolutely right. It can. It really can. It can have a great effect because someone may want to do business with you or may stop doing business with you because they see the messiness. Can we call it
Hmm.
that? Okay.
We can call it messy. We can call it messy. Because the thing is, at the end of
Professionalism.
it, I would say that, but the thing is, a lot of people feel like they have to meet people where they're at on social media and put things out in the open. But at the end of the day, before social media, how was you handling this?
Exactly. And then as
You were,
business owners, you're absolutely right, Dr. Shira. And as business owners, you have something to lose. You
Dr.
can
Candace, you have a lot to lose.
you can future clients, your clients you have now, just you have a lot to lose. So basically what we're saying, Dr. Tyra, when you're a business owner and in business and mental health, you gotta maneuver different.
You
You gotta
really do.
be different.
Hmm. You really do.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, what you say and what you do will affect the next person, right? Whether the person is doing business with you or not, they could be a person that could actually give out referrals.
Yes. I like
You
that.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
But you just ruined yourself from the behaviors that you displayed.
Absolutely.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And the thing is just you just have to be mindful of what you're doing.
Hmm.
Everybody's not worthy of a conversation.
You're so
You
right.
know what I mean? When a person, shows you their other side, right? To the
Hmm.
point where they showing you a side that you have to question their business motives, and like, oh, they contacted me to do business with them, but I seen them doing X, Y, and Z. Well, if you saw X, Y, and Z and X, Y, and Z don't go with ME or YOU, then you
Hmm.
need to keep it moving,
Exactly.
and just kindly remove yourself from them and say, look, I'm not, I'm okay. Thank you, but no thank you. I decided to move into another direction.
There you go.
But the thing is, so many people out here trying to get it. And when I mean get it, they want their own level of success, right? So they're following all these influencers and all of them, regardless of what kind of bad raps they're doing, because the thing is, one thing I found with social media, people accept things that they wouldn't accept in real life.
Absolutely.
Okay. And oh, well, they did that to me, but it's okay. No, it's not okay.
It's not.
You
Absolutely.
allow you are allowing people to victimize you, to humiliate you, embarrass you on social media.
Hmm.
Before social media, that kind of behavior, it was still happening, but it was happening behind closed doors. But now social media is bringing it all to the light, right? But people, I think, in the past didn't allow it.
I
If
agree.
they heard and saw people mistreating them, they let them go.
Hmm.
But so many people out here are so damn thirsty, they will do anything they can do just to be in.
I
So
agree.
they're accepting of these behaviors. In the inside, they're at home, they're cringing, they're crying, they're depressed, they're sad, but then they putting on this face
Hmm.
for social media.
Exactly. And what I got from that as well, from your statement, is it's not for everybody.
No.
Being an entrepreneur and trying to maneuver your business, especially on social media, is not for everybody. It takes a certain strong and different type of personality to be able to handle that.
Right.
Absolutely. That goes back into my next question. We're going to
Hmm.
get a little deep. This is my last question. I have noticed, and I'm pretty sure you have too, Dr. Tyra, that
Hmm.
over the years, especially during the pandemic and even before the pandemic, Black women have been the number one to rise and to start businesses. Black women have been the number
Hmm.
one and the most to rise in
Hmm.
entrepreneurship and in business. However, do you think, what is your take on working hard? Because you used the statement in your last comments about
Hmm.
everybody want the bag, everybody trying to get to the bag. What does
Hmm.
it look like for the Black woman? And do
Well,
you agree with my comment that in the last couple of years during the pandemic and even before, Black women has been on the rise with starting the most businesses and going into entrepreneurship for themselves, and
hmm
and working extremely hard. Is that a true statement that Black women
I
have
would
worked?
say yes. I would definitely will say yes. That is definitely a true statement. When I look at like 2016, like, because I say 2016 because 2015, 2014. Well, I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna take it all the way back to like 2014. About 2014 is when I really paid attention to and really saw the rise of the Black woman, as well as the rise of women in business, right? People were making changes and doing all of the things that they needed to do to become successful, because folks have been was put in positions where it was just like, okay, I'm not happy here. I need to do what's best for me. And I seen the rise of a number of female groups, and I'm talking about not singing groups or nothing like that, but business groups, right? A number of business groups forming for women to help them level up so that they be able to create businesses and do all of the things that they should that they want to do, right? I've seen a number of empowerment groups begin to help women, not just black women but white women as well, right? Because when you look at women as a whole, at the end of the day, a lot of us we both have different struggles, but in the end, it all comes out looking the same, right? When it comes to certain things,
Mhm.
in regards to how we all are treated in business, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
although we do know Caucasian women are paid more than black women when it comes to a lot of things.
Hmm. And
I'm not going to negate that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that don't happen, because it does happen a lot. I
that
was a victim
goes
of it, so I know it. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? And as a black woman in working in a business, our biggest competition was men and women. White men always got paid the highest. Black men got paid below the black, above the black woman. But then a white woman could come along and get paid more than the black man. So all of us was under the same umbrella. We all together at this point, the black men as well as the black woman. However, a black
Absolutely.
woman can have more credentials than a black man, but the black man still will get paid more than the black
Exactly.
woman. You know what I mean? And we
Absolutely.
seen we seen that happen. But what I seen from 2014 through now, it has been a strong rise of black women emerging businesses,
Yes. And
right?
that being said, Dr. Tyra is absolutely right. I'm going to piggyback off that.
Hmm.
They have rised, and they have rised in business, but
Hmm.
they have declined in mental health.
Yes.
And let me tell you why. I'm about to stand on my soapbox here. I come, y'all. Y'all
There you
ready?
go.
Tap your
We
neighbor.
ready.
Tap your
We
neighbor.
ready.
Let me tell y'all why. Because it's called the Black Woman Work Hard. There's a such thing as working hard, everybody, and then there's
Hmm.
another thing as the black woman hard worker, hard
Hmm.
working. It's two different types. We work hard because we already work hard in the household, and our
Hmm.
ancestors, and we always already had to do everything, and we are just
Hmm.
hard workers. Now
Right.
you go into working hard for your business, so now you're
Hmm.
taking care of the kids, taking these kids to school, taking care of mama, taking care of the house, taking care of the man,
Hmm.
taking care of the dog, taking care of everything,
Hmm.
and then doing this business. Don't know how to delegate, wearing all the hats in the business. You the marketer, the secretary to answer the phone, the assistant, the
Hmm.
graphic designer, Kevin, your best friend. You with Bank of America, you doing everything for the business. Don't know how to delegate, can't afford to delegate. So you working so hard that when your mental health decline, but your business go up. Then guess what happened, ladies and gentlemen? The business starts to decline because the mental health has already declined. Then it ended up catching up. So what we're bringing today, myself and Dr. Tyra, is there is a such thing as hard working. But then there's another aspect of that as the black woman hard worker. We got to learn how, which I have definitely learned how to do, just work. I no longer work hard. And y'all see, I'm a black woman. If you didn't, for the ones that didn't know, I'm black. The ones can't see it. I no longer work hard. I work. I work comfortably and I work smart. Because we have to say, to a black woman, when we say work hard, she gonna do everything. What a lie, Dr. Tyra. We gonna show up. Remember I said, Canva your best friend. You own
Hmm.
everything. You paying the bills. You the
Hmm.
graphic designer. You the janitor.
Hmm.
You everything within your business. Because one,
Right.
you don't know how to delegate. Don't trust to
Right.
delegate, or you don't have the money
Hmm.
to delegate. So now
Right.
you want to keep above water, and you do all everything, and now your mental health becomes poor. So yes,
Right.
we rose up, we rised up,
Hmm.
and
Right.
make starting these businesses and doing all these things, but then it tainted some of our mental health because we didn't
Hmm.
have the proper tools on what to do within our when that happens. So that's
Right.
our next game changer. To the expert, Dr. Tyra, what are some tips that we can take to work better within our business so it won't, for entrepreneurs and also for employees, for people that are working for others. What are a couple of tips that we can use where it won't taint our mental health?
Number one, I would say don't be afraid to ask for help.
Right on.
Okay, because the thing is, when as an entrepreneur, sometimes we get into that bag where we think we can do everything ourselves, right? We can't do everything ourselves, so we need to be able to say, hey, I need help. Being able to ask for help, that's number one. Number two, when things are not going okay, being able to say, I'm not okay.
Yes.
Okay, because the thing is, you don't want your business to suffer,
Okay.
right? Being able to, admit that I am not the strong one.
Yeah.
Being able to say, okay, let me see who I can bring in to help me. Being able to, decide, okay, maybe I need to hire somebody for marketing. Granted, we do know there's situations where you can't bring an accountant and a lawyer and a marketing expert in or a social media strategist in, right? But being able to allow yourself time management and organizational skills so that you can be able to um basically negotiate what time you have to focus on these without compromising your mental health or physical health.
That's
And what
right.
I mean by that is being able to get your required amount of hours of sleep. I'm not going to say it's 8, but whatever your required amount of hours of sleep is, making sure you get that sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that you eat a nutritious meal, right? Being able to do the things you need to do for you, right? Just being able to say, okay, I'm okay, and be at rest, and know that what you do for your business is not what you're doing for your business is going to impact your business as well as it's going to impact those who are working for you, and being mindful of that, and if you need to seek help from a therapist, being able to say, okay, I'm going to get myself a therapist, I'm going to do what I can do so that I can reclaim my best life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautifully said. I totally agree. My tips for a business owner or someone that's working for someone else and they're starting to feel burnt out and they see that their mental health is declining.
Hmm. Hmm.
Absolutely. Take breaks. Check in with yourself. Just like I
Hmm.
stated in the beginning of the segment, that I felt it within the week and I said, okay, wait a minute. I need to check in with me. I need to see where I am and where this is coming from. Check in with yourself. Mental health, mental checks with yourself. How you feel,
Hmm.
what's going on? Are you starting to dwindle? Are you starting, your mental health starting to decline? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Check in with yourself. My next one is don't chase money. I wouldn't,
Mm.
I wouldn't chase it. I wouldn't chase it. Don't worry about it. I know, and I know y'all people gonna be looking at this broadcast and gonna be like, I know she lying. I got bills. I get it. I understand it, as do I. However, when I say don't chase money, because it keeps running away from you. What you
Mhm.
chase is to
Mhm.
keep going. Let me tell
Mhm.
you something. The most successful people, and I ain't talking about
Mhm.
in money, just here.
Mhm.
Success star here.
Mhm. Right.
The person that don't want for nothing got everything. Y'all
Mhm.
marinate on that.
Right. Mhm.
That's right.
Mhm.
So if you are an entrepreneur, it's gonna come in. Be consistent. Keep doing what you're doing. Find new ways.
Mhm.
Get you some help. Get a therapist or a coach, business coach. Get you some help.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't chase it because that's gonna bring on anxiety and it's gonna burn you out. Because what you chasing is you gotta. It's good. It's like that cartoon character. What's that little cartoon? And he was the bird. And what's the name kept saying?
Oh, Tweety Bird and Sylvester. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Road
and
Runner.
roll runners,
Yes.
it keep
Mhm.
going. You'll never catch it.
Mhm.
So don't chase
Right.
it. It's gonna come. It's gonna come.
Mhm.
And my next one, set boundaries with yourself.
Mhm.
I set a boundary with
Mhm.
myself. I take
Mhm.
two. I take 2 weeks off every 3 months. Every quarter, I'm on
Right.
vacation. About to go on vacation September 16th. They just got off vacation May 16th. Huh? That's what you do because I had to
Mhm.
set a boundary. Because I'm at a
Right.
stage and I'm at an age in my life where I got to rest all this beauty. I got to sit
Mhm.
this down. I got to go back and
Mhm.
reflect, come back with new
Mhm.
rooms. That's what I call it. I got to come back because I don't want to have that black woman hard working syndrome. At
Right.
the time, it was a good to be called. I'm a strong black woman and I work hard. I work hard. Yeah, but that's a hard way to live because it starts to
Right.
create high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease,
Mhm.
blood issues, gaining weight, and just tiredness. It creates too
Right.
much that we don't need.
Right.
That ain't Yeah, that's getting low, people. So we need to
Right.
know how to say, okay, I need to sit down. So those are my tips. Yes,
Hmm. And you
yes,
know, one tip I'm gonna also say, in with all of this is being able to set your limits. You
yes.
know, but setting the boundaries. Dr. Candace talked about boundaries, but being able to set limits, right? Set limits with your time and who and what you want to do business collaborations with, right? But
Yes.
also being able to say no.
I love that.
You know,
You are
because
so
no is a
right.
problematic. Yeah, no is a problematic word, especially in business.
Yes,
You
it is.
know, so you can't be a yes person all the time. So you have to be able to say no, and be
Mhm.
okay with saying no. No is a complete sentence. Next opportunity, because that whatever you giving me is not something that I might not be wanting right now. So let me move on to that next opportunity and I'll think about it.
Yes, I love that. Dr. Tyra is absolutely right because the personal you may feel you could handle that, yes. But the business part is like, no, we ain't gonna be able to do that. You can't
Hmm.
collab with everyone. I know I can't collab with everyone, not let it
Right.
be known. We ain't doing
Hmm.
that. So
Be
they're
able
like,
to say it and accept it.
yes, you got to separate the
Yep.
personal and the business. What
Yep.
your personal may be able to handle, which probably can't, but you think can handle, because sometimes it really can't. You just a people
Right.
pleaser. But the
Right.
business
Right.
side, you don't need that in your business.
Right. Hmm.
You got to learn
Yep.
how to separate the business and the personal. And I hope whomever watched this broadcast will take some of these tips and understand some of the things that we brought to them today. Learn
Hmm.
how to separate business and personal. They're two
Yes.
different entities.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. I
Exactly.
love this. This was a great segment today, Dr. Tyler.
Yes,
Do
this
you have
was a
anything
very.
else to add?
Have nothing else. I want everybody to be awesome. Have a great and awesome weekend. Yes. What
Absolutely.
about you, Dr. Candace?
Yes, this was great. I hope everyone take our tips. And, if you are in business or you're working with someone, always first, you come first. Take care of you. That business gonna be there. Allow the business to run because sometimes you want to get to a point where the business run itself, but you want to
Yep.
run the business without the business running you. You never want to do that. You never want to do that. And I just want to say tonight, everybody, if you can, tune in to All Things Relationships with me at 6:30 tonight on Instagram.
Yep. All right. Let me run some commercials.
Yes.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for joining us this afternoon and this morning. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you on these Instagram streets coming up. With Dr. Candace this evening at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. We want to thank you all for joining us and God bless.
God
Dr.
bless.
Candace?
Bye, everyone.